Hello everybody, welcome to a brand new Trusteft Retro Weekend video. Today I have, of course, my nose and something a bit different than usual. Amiga games, and several of them, 17 to be exact. I'm looking there because I have the list, because I can remember them by heart. And a little backstory first, so you have some idea what's going on, in case you don't know, because I don't usually say much about my Amiga history. I got an Amiga, I bought it with my own money in 1993. It was an Amiga 1200 or 1200 or A1200 and so on. It had, I don't remember how much memory it had. I think 2 megabytes. Don't remember anymore. And it had a hard drive, which also I don't remember the size of it. I know that it was a Western Digital drive, and probably the only Western Digital drive that ever worked for me. And it was either 20, 30, 40 or 60 megabytes in size. Yes, I don't remember. What else? Oh yeah, I got it in 93. I played many games on it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a fine machine. Although unfortunately I never really felt like completely one as I did with my previous computers, the Atari ST line of computers, or even my follow-up computers, which were PC compatible computer, IBM compatible computers, and Macs. But yeah, never mind. I still liked the machine very much, and I'm just sorry that I no longer have it. I had to sell it many years ago. So yeah, I played several games on it, and this is my favorite top 17 games on it. It was going to be 18, but I wasn't entirely sure about one, so I left it out. And in case you're wondering, the game I left out was 1869, a strategy simulation, business simulation type of game. Good game, good game. Anyway, let's continue the list, and we're gonna start now. Number 17, Banshee. A shoot 'em up, and I believe it was one of the last games I bought for the machine, for the Amiga. It was a shoot 'em up, a vertical scrolling shoot 'em up, World War II theme, and very like it had similarities obviously with previous shoot 'em up games, especially in 1942. Since one of your power-ups, well, not power-ups, special moves would make you do a loop-de-loop, or whatever it is called. And yeah, good game, fun game. Number 16, Benefactor. Benefactor is a rarity, yeah, for me, as it was, it is still, I guess, a puzzle game for the most part. It looks like an action game, it plays like a platform game, but it is a puzzle game. You have to get keys, you have to do some special moves, and you have to get help from the environment to do some things and to proceed to the next level. Gorgeous game. Number 15, UG, or AG, or UG, yeah. This is a mix of, again, action, platform, and a little bit of puzzle element in it, but it's not really as strong as in Benefactor. Basically, you are an ancient caveman / taxi driver, or pilot, as you have this monstrosity of a taxi and which flies around, and you get people from one platform and move, transfer them to another. As the levels go, you get a higher difficulty, more obstacles, more enemies, and so on. Very good, fun game. Number 14, Seek and Destroy. This is clearly a pseudo-map, but in a mission type of level design. So you don't have, as in classic pseudo-maps, where you just shoot everything and you finish the level. You have kind of missions, but mostly it's about destroying targets. A very large map and in 3D, which is quite impressive. Good game. Number 13, Floor 13. And I kid you not, I didn't do this on purpose. Now, this is a strategy game where you are the head, the Director General of the British Secret Police. Yeah. And you try to help the government get re-elected. You send agents to do stuff that secret police do, including kidnapping, interaction, searching and attacking, and surveillance. Everything you can think of, you can do it here. A very serious game and quite a hard game. The whole mechanism of the game is very similar to the older, again from Virgin Mastertronic, Conflict in the Middle East, a Middle East political simulator, of which I have made several videos for the Atari ST. Yeah, great game, great game.
Refuses to cooperate.
Number 12, Settlers, or I believe in some territories it is called Surf City. It's a strategy business simulation type of game in real time, where you get to build a town from zero to, well, to something. You try to expand your territory, and depending on the mission you have either purely economic goals or military goals. It spawned several sequels up to today, and it was a gorgeous game in both visuals and audio, and gameplay was quite good too. Nuclear War. This game was released, as some other games in this list, on other platforms, but I only experienced it on the Amiga. This is a strategy game, or at least it pretends to be a strategy game. It has a very tabletop or board game feel. You get to build weapons and then send them to your enemies. Who are your enemies? Everybody is your enemy. There are 5 countries in the game. You control one of them, and you try to eliminate everyone and be the lone survivor. It's not easy, and there is strategy involved, but it always feels, to me at least, like it is more a game of luck than actual strategy. That's why this game isn't much higher in this list, although number 11 is still quite high. Number 10. Ports of Call. Another strategy slash business simulation game. This time you are in control of a shipping company. You get to buy second-hand or new ships, like tankers or whatever, and then send them to business to carry cargo along, the ports you have available for you across the globe. And it's fun. If you like business games, it's fun. You get several mini games in it, were entirely action based, where you usually get to maneuver your ship in real time, trying to avoid something or to dock or any number of things. Fun game, very fun game. Number 9. Agony. Agony was one of the handful of games that made me want to buy an Amiga. It is a shoot 'em up. Very simple in terms of what you have to do, shoot 'em up games, with power-ups and all that. It is side-scrolling, as you can see in the footage, and it is beautiful. For me, it is one of the most beautiful games ever made. It is accompanied by very, very good music, which changes on every level. And I believe the music is by David Whittaker, but I could be wrong. As gameplay go, it is very fun, obviously, and not the most difficult shoot 'em up ever. And especially if you manage to collect all the power-ups, bonuses, and all that. Makes the game slightly easier than most. Still, I like it a lot. Number 8. TV Sports Basketball. This was, I believe, the last game in the line of TV Sports titled games. The other two were TV Sports Baseball, which I never got to play, and TV Sports Football, which I only played on the Atari ST. All of them, well, the two of them that I have played, are fun games, very well made, very good presentation, and feels like, at the time it felt like they were the best, absolutely best. And although I'm a huge fan of the game GBA Championship 2-on-2, a basketball game where you play 2-on-2, and made several videos of it. While I was playing, while I was using an Amiga, owning an Amiga, TV Sports Basketball was my favorite basketball game, and it was so much fun, especially if you tried to play championship mode. Greatly underrated game. Number 7. Gunship 2000. I got to play the original Gunship, the first one, on the Atari ST, and it was a fantastic game. And then Gunship 2000 arrived, and it was even better. It is a simulation of flying a helicopter, a combat helicopter. You start with the Apache A, I guess now, type, yeah. And then depending on how well you do, and if you go higher in rank, then you get access to more helicopters. Some of them that never actually made it into the military. But even from the very beginning, you can pilot the Apache, or there are 2-3 that you can pilot while you are still a noob. And you get to play these battles where you have to destroy several targets, and if you want to do real well on your way to your targets and on your way back to the base, you manage to destroy even more targets. Fantastic move for your career. As a game, it was quite serious at the time. It was easily the best helicopter simulation, and I had lots of fun with it. Number 6, Desert Strike. I just bit my tongue. Desert Strike, The Return to the Gulf, I think it's called, the full title, was a game which was released again on several platforms, but I only got to play it really on the Amiga. It is basically it is a shoot 'em up with missions, or open world missions. As on each mission, every map you have several things you can do. You can destroy, you can help other soldiers. There are many things you can do, and everything flows into gameplay, if that makes any sense, and makes it a superb game. The graphics at the time were beautiful, and I have to say they still look quite good, other than of course the lower resolution, and the gameplay remains amazing. Definitely one of the best games ever made, in my opinion. Number 5, Pinball Fantasies. Oh my, I think this was one of the first Amiga games I bought, and it doesn't have a huge collection of tables or anything, but it is fun. Well, it was fun, and it was definitely better than any other pinball game on a computer till that time. It felt like simulation, which clearly is not, and it felt like the real thing, or close to it, which is not really. But it was so much better than any other pinball game on a computer that just destroyed them all. Nowadays, you can, especially if you have played other pinball games on computers or consoles, you can see that it is not entirely accurate or realistic, but it still looks good, it sounds good, and it plays good. Oh well, yeah, good game. On number 5. Number 4. We're getting near the top now, and yeah. So number 4 is Storm Across Europe, a strategy game where you get to play the European theater during the Second World War. You only get to play, if you want to play it single player, you only get the option to play it as Germany. However, if you have other humans and you want to play it that way, then the other humans can control either the allies, and by that I mean the Western allies, so France, UK, USA, so on, or another player can play the USSR, the Soviets. I don't remember if I've played it with other humans, but I have definitely played it alone, single player, as Germany, and it was very, very good. It was the best of its type. I don't know, but it's definitely, for me, the best that I played on the Amiga, and a game that I can see myself still playing. In fact, I played a couple of games last night. Still good. The controls are a bit iffy nowadays, but the gameplay is still there. Definitely worth playing. And that was number 4. Number 3. Ooh, we are in top 3 now. Well, yeah, obviously. Number 3 is a game that it's Walker, you can see it. And it is a game that it was probably the single game that made me want to buy an Amiga more than any other game. It's a shoot 'em up, a side-scrolling shoot 'em up, and it was quite different from most, but not all, side-scrolling games of the time, in that you were walking from the right side to the left. You walk, you are inside a walker, which is a mech of a huge robot, and you control the movement left and right with a joystick, and you control the aiming of your walker with a mouse. Crazy fun, and very good graphics at the time, very good sound, and cool experience. You get to fight across different levels and different time zones. And you start with the World War II era, and you fight the Nazis, I think, and then you proceed further, more to the present day and future, kind of. Fun game, fun game. Number 2. Another strategy game. Centurion, Defender of Rome. I love this game. I played it probably more than any other game on the Amiga, apart from the one that I have in number 1 spot. Many hours, and there are times when I didn't have anything else to do, that I would just spend the whole day playing it. And it is a very good strategy game where you start controlling Rome in, what was it, 3rd century BC, and you get to expand your empire. You get to fight, you get to have some diplomacy, you get to play mini games mostly that have to do with improving the morale of your people. It's a good game. It's a good strategy game that wasn't really nothing approached it for this theme till for me, Rome Total War. And yes, now at number 1, a single game that I played more than any other game on the Amiga. Hundreds or thousands, I don't know, hours on the Amiga. I never managed to finish it, but I played it a lot. And trying to record video for this, trying to record footage for this video, I got to play the game again and again and again for hours. It's that good. And yes, it is Tetris Pro, which is probably no one else's top game of all time on the Amiga. There are other games, many other very good games, which usually takes the spot, the top spot. But for me, with my hand on my heart, I have to say, my favorite game, my top game on the Amiga was and still is Tetris Pro. The game was released as a freeware kind of, and it wasn't a big production, there wasn't a huge development team. I think it was 2 or 3 people behind it, and actually one of them commented in one of my videos some time ago about the game. So yes, I have mentioned this game before, and for me it was a mix of, well, classic Tetris game of course, which is quite impressive as gameplay go, and gorgeous graphics, sound, music, and the feel of how you move the tiles, the blocks around, how accurate it feels. There's nothing else like it. I've played many Tetris games. This is easily my favorite, and I'm not even a huge Tetris player, well, definitely not a huge, well, I'm big, but I'm not a very good Tetris player, and but this game just makes me want to play Tetris all the time, even if I do suck at it. Easily number 1 spot for me, Tetris Pro.